Hey, everybody. He's big, he's mean, and he is Reacher. We're talking about season 2 today here on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Two Geeks and a Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom land. And it was pretty cool you actually pointed the right direction, because I always point in the wrong direction. I get tripped up by it, man.
Right? I get it. I get
Figure
it.
out which side is which.
That is correct. Excuse me. All right. Well, Lee, I just want to say I'm thankful the Chiefs won. Whoop, whoop. We're originally from Kansas City, everybody. And that was a nail biter of a game. That was a good game. That was a good game. Now, whatever side of the fence you're on, that's okay. It's okay to be wrong and root for the wrong team and all. Oh, yeah. Battlehawks. Yep.
That's right.
I still love
Battlehawks
stuff.
Battlehawks start March 30th. I'm super excited.
Yep.
Spring football is on its way.
Yeah, for those of who are on our Facebook friends feeds, I have to get this in. Sorry, Mike. I posted a meme that said Super Bowl Super Bowl appearances since 1996. Taylor Swift 1, Cowboys 0.
Yeah. It took a girl for your team to win. Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, I am always a Cowboys fan.
Good for you. See, that's the thing about the Chiefs. We were not fair weather fans. We were always, even through the years they were losing and stuff, we rooted for our team. And by golly, the Cowboys will get there. I'm just saying, good for you.
Cowboys, we are 5-time champions. Thank you very much.
Since 1996.
Yeah, you're right. Since 1996. But guess what? We've won a Super Bowl since the 49ers have. Because they haven't won since 1995. So
right on. And yeah.
And 49ers fans, you can tell me all you want. Oh, but we've been there. It doesn't matter if you don't win. It makes no difference if you don't win. So, at the end of the day, you're in the same place the Cowboys are.
You're so
on
funny.
The golf course.
Oh, gosh, that's funny. All right, everybody, we got a jam-packed show today. Sorry, I just had to get that dig in on Mike before starting.
I'm looking forward to spring football. Go Battlehawks. Caw. Caw is the law.
Caw. Where was that from? I love the old sci-fi movie Galaxy Quest. Quest, where he has to do they're like, okay, you got to give us the signal. What's the signal? I don't know. You'll come up with it. And so all these little aliens are running after him, and they're trying to give him the signal. And the signal was caw.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that, especially.
I'm gonna have to get that clip and put it on as part of our clips for the show. Caw.
Especially since Battlehawk season's coming up. That's kind of our battle cry. Caw. Anyway. All right. Well, we got a lot of geeky news. Let's do it. All right. I've said it before. With geeky news, it can be feast and it can be famine. And today is Thanksgiving Day. So first up, James Gunn clears up rumors over the Batman TV series rights. So this is talking about the Batman television. So apparently a X thread user who had posted to James Gunn and pointed out that Batman's limited presence on live action TV shows which is strange considering the character is high on most people's list of favorite comic book heroes. If this isn't odd enough, there's also an ongoing rumor that Disney has final say on Batman's TV appearances. I've heard that before. After the 1960s Batman that starred Adam West, aside from mere references to Batman in shows like Smallville, Birds of Prey, the character usually only appeared as Bruce Wayne in Batwoman or Gotham Knights, though he appeared very briefly in a final shot on the prequel series Gotham. The rumor only refers to Batman's live action appearances, as the character was headlined and co-starred in numerous animated series. The thread user also wrote, "Is it true Disney owns the rights to Batman on TV, which is why he never showed up, has never shown up on a TV series since the Adam West show, which
That's
is why,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
he never has. The
I never
closest we've
thought about
come,
that like that. Yeah.
the closest we've come is we got, um, uh, yeah, Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne in the
Ah,
Crisis series.
the Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's right.
Right. We got him, as the older Bruce Wayne, which was cool. That was cool.
Hmm.
And then we got Bruce Wayne in the Titans series too. But the
But not as
closest,
Batman.
right? Kevin Conroy sort of he was portraying the old Bruce who's decrepit, and so he's using like prosthetics to keep him up and stuff. And so I guess it could be argued that he was kind of the Batman, but he really wasn't. So
He was
anyway,
never in the cowl, though, right?
right, he was never in the
That's
cowl.
what I thought, if I remember right. Yeah.
So Gunn, known for his quick remarks on the platform, replied, "No, very strange rumor,"
Okay.
which I love. I love. But Gunn didn't elaborate on the rumor, but it's likely related to Disney's ownership of Fox and ABC networks, which air Gotham and the Adam West Batman. Now, I didn't know the Adam West Batman series is streaming anywhere. I don't know that it is for sure.
I don't know.
But anyway, it says respectively. To be fair, DC has declared most characters off, or not most, some characters off limits in adaptations for no apparent reason, but even those bans are eventually lifted. So here's my take on the Batman thing. I think it doesn't have anything to do with Disney. I don't think Disney has the power to keep DC and Warner Brothers from doing Batman live action on television series just because they own the rights to the 66 series. I think we're gun shy of Warner Brothers, a fear of, because there was a backlash after the 66 series. There was a lot of people that didn't like Batman because of that. Batman was on a low, the comic books weren't selling well, and people looked at Batman as campy and silly. And I think Warner Brothers is just fearful of that, and they don't want to put him on a weekly series because of that. I don't think they can portray him. I think that they believe they cannot portray him accurately on a weekly TV series. That's my belief. Who knows?
You know what my belief is?
Yeah, what?
TV and movie executives get too involved in the creative aspects of TV shows and movies, and they ruin them. Period.
Agree. I can agree with that.
And now that's not totally 100% my idea, because I just watched a video by Chris Stuckman, who I really like as a reviewer because he comes from a movie maker, a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker viewpoint when he does movie reviews and stuff on YouTube. And he addressed this type of thing on just recently when he was talking about Madam Web. And he was defending Madam Web, not the movie itself, but that the problem with the movie, realistically, he goes, are the executives getting too involved and not letting the directors and the creators do their job? Because he knows the director. He goes, the director is a good director. the writers are decent writers. He goes, the problem is the executives get involved. And he said the creative process in Hollywood right now is where they, like this with Warner Brothers, the executives making the moves when they probably have creatives who could really do something, but they're like, no, we're trying to do some, we've got to we got to do this with our properties, or we got to create a new, this is my concern about James Gunn. James Gunn's bringing up all these DC characters. Like, we're like, who are these people? Give me Batman. Give me Superman.
Well, I think with James Gunn, he really shot to stardom with Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was. I when it came, I remember when it came out, I was like, I don't even know these characters. I don't know if I want to go see this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had friends at work. They're like, you should go see it. I think you're going to like it. And I was like, really? Because I know nothing about these characters. And they're like, oh, go see it. And I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I think he's banking on that with, unfortunately, all of DC. And I think that's a bad move. Suicide Squad was mediocre at best.
The first one or the second one?
Well, the second one was really good. I like the second one. The first one is mediocre, but he still didn't have the Guardian success that he had with the second Suicide. So I don't know. I think it's a gamble that I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to the next article.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
No. I just want to keep things moving because I know you got to get going. All right. So next one is Batman Caped Crusader, which is a upcoming series on Amazon Prime that Steven doesn't believe is going to happen. And we have been talking about to be fair, we've been talking about this since we started the podcast, actually. But anyway, Batman Caped Crusader will be a much darker than the Batman animated, according to head writer Ed Brubaker. Brubaker, sorry. So, upcoming Prime Video animated series Batman Caped Crusader has received a new update from writer and executive producer Ed Brubaker. Brubaker revealed several new details on the upcoming animated series, describing it as having a more focused noir tone. Did I say that right? Noir?
Yep. Yep.
Visual violence than previous animated Batman shows. Brubaker states that the animation in the series reflects Bruce Timm's initial vision for Batman the Animated Series, a vision he couldn't execute due to the studio executives' restriction on heightened violence.
See, those dadgum executives get involved. That's funny. I wouldn't even think you were going to talk about that. That's funny.
Sometimes if you watch some of the Batman animated series, I think it was a little more violent than some of the series.
Yeah, agreed.
But maybe he just couldn't quite hit the mark that he wanted to because of it,
Have you seen Invincibles on Prime? Or Invincible, Invincible.
I don't think so.
So Invincible is cartoon kind of a thing, and it is violent.
Is it?
And so, oh yeah. I mean, it's not violent for like just violence sake. It is part of the storytelling, and there's a shock factor to it when something happens in the whole first season. You're like, what in the world? I don't want to do any spoilers. It'll be hard to do that without any spoilers, but I know they just released the second part of the second season for Invincible, but it opens up with all these superheroes getting slaughtered. I mean,
oh, wow.
You can't really see who it is yet, but you kind of have an idea of what's going on. It's kind of a mystery. And then it gets all revealed, and then there's that part of the story. But oh yeah, we're talking about getting people split in two, heads crushed in, eyes popping out. I mean, it is. They probably could get away with it on Prime. I make that association. So
no, that's cool. That's good.
Batman beating people to a pulp.
Well, it's happened in the comic books.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Brubaker anticipates a divided fan response, with many loving it and others being shocked at certain elements. Um, I, I have mixed feelings about this anticipation, as they say,
Okay.
because I said that last week. I don't like it when directors go, "Oh, I'm talking about Ruin Johnson to be exact. Ruin Johnson with the Last Jedi. Oh, I expect my audience to be divided down the middle. Half are going to hate it and half are going to love it. How do you
Mhm.
make something a property anticipating people to hate it? I don't understand that. That's not how
Well,
you. That's not how
that
you build a fan base. That's not how you make money.
agreed. I Star Wars, I think, was a little different because it's like, well, I don't know. This may be the same thing where people want to
You have an
change the
established audience.
characters. Agreed. Part of me thinks, directors want to make their mark and say, "Hey, this is how I changed this original story." Well, that's not creative. But I think Batman, I'm looking forward to this. I'm curious if you are or not. I'm looking forward to this because I want to see the gritty Batman of who he really is that you get in the comic books, but bringing in.
Mr. Michael Keaton killed people.
That's right, by God. Well, I don't want to see that because that's so instrumental to who Batman is. But
You didn't
beating people
actually
to a
see him
pulp, I
kill
mean,
people.
well, yeah, if he
Yes.
kills people in it, I'm out. I'm out.
No,
That's not
I am excited.
hashtag. That's
I'm
not my
excited.
Batman.
Michael Keaton is Batman. He says it all the time. Anyway, no, I am super excited about this series. I think it looks great, and if they're going to a more violent Batman, I personally don't have an issue with it. I do know that there are some people who will, but then again, there were some people that had issues with the Batman, the Chris Nolan Batman too. So,
Right.
it is what it is. I'm just saying I don't like the idea of a director going into it with the attitude of, oh, uh, I'm anticipating half the audience to love it, and half the audience. That's not the.
Right.
You should be pushing this, going, look, this is making the character more like the comic book. You should be pushing it to get more people interested, not pushing it towards, oh, half the audience is going to hate it, half of the audience is going to love it. I just think that's the wrong attitude to have, and I wish
Yeah.
they'd drop that.
Agreed.
All right, moving on. This is a big one. This is super big, and I am
Okay.
super excited about this. All right, DC is to re-release the complete Crisis series as a monthly facsimile edition. Now, I've explained in the past, facsimiles are reprints, exact reprints of the original issues. And they are doing this with Crisis Infinite Earths, the original Crisis. DC Comics will be reprinting the entirety of the 1984 through 85 Crisis on Infinite Earths as a 12-month facsimile edition, and they are not waiting for the 40th anniversary. The publisher is gearing up for an April release of issue number 1, which originally came out in December of 1984. And I'm really excited. Crisis was the it 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 has bad things and good things. Crisis on one note is great because it's a great storyline, and it was one of the first big major comic book crossovers, ever. On the other hand, it has a bad side because it kind of destroyed the comic industry. Because then they started doing these big giant crossovers like once a year, and then it started being multiple times a year. It was like, okay, this is too much. We can't collect all these ever
Mhm.
crossing over into every single comic book and such. But
Mhm.
Crisis is a great story, and we are going to cover. Theron's going to come back on March 2nd, and Theron and I are going to cover the first installment of the new Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movie, and it's part one of
Ooh,
a
that's gonna be
three-part
good.
series. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the comics getting reprinted. I don't think I've ever read the original story in full. There was some interesting things that happened. Spoiler alert: they killed off the Flash in that series, the Barry Allen Flash, and they also killed off Supergirl.
Spoiler alert! I haven't read it. What are you doing? No, I'm just messing with
Spoiler
you.
on a 40-year comic book. Again, spoiler alert on a 40-year-old comic.
Wah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
if you didn't know that by now, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I do have one. I do have one more. I do have a geeky news thing to share
Oh,
too. I
okay.
forgot. So
Okay.
yeah, but I'll wait
Let
till you're done. Go ahead.
me do this one last story. This is another
Oh, you
patient.
sent me this. Yes.
Yes, I'm excited, but I'm fearful I won't be able to afford this.
Right.
So DC and Marvel are to release the crossover omnibuses. This is a vast and varied history of DC versus Marvel returns to print for the first time in decades, with two massive volumes collecting the universe bending comic book crossovers between the greatest characters in pop culture. These fantastic stories, originally co-presented by the two powerhouse comic book publishers, have been highly sought after and hard to find for most readers, but they are making their return to the DC versus making their return in DC versus Marvel Omnibus and DC Marvel the Amligan, I can never pronounce that, Age of Omnibus, both publishing on August 6th, 2024 this year. And as of right now, I'm getting reports. Both volumes will each have a direct market exclusive cover only available to local comic book shops. So you can only get the exclusive covers in your local comic book shop.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
However, they are a whopping $150 each. Ouch.
Yeah, I think I paid. What did I pay for the John Jackson Miller omnibus? I think I paid $100 for it. 125. Yeah.
Now, this is some major crossovers. I mean, you've got Spider-Man and Superman. You've got I think Batman and the Punisher. The only one they are not including, and it's probably because they just reprinted it last year to benefit George Perez's medical bills when he was in his final stages, unfortunately. But they did a reprint of the Justice League versus Avengers, and I wished I could have got that. That was a limited run, and it was hard to get.
Yeah.
But man, I would have loved to have that. And that, from what I'm seeing of reports, that is the only one that will not be included in the omnibus. And I think it's because they just reprinted it last year, or year before last.
I gotcha.
Anyway,
gotcha. Real quick shout out, 3 Geeky Dads. What's up, guys? And then Sage is in the house.
Sage.
And
now you said you had
beautiful. One. I do. I got one. I want to share this with you guys.
I interrupted you, my beautiful wife, Brenda.
Yes, she told you can't spend it because that's camping money.
We'll see.
That's so funny.
I might have to figure it
out. Real quick, I'm going to let everybody know, and I'm going to follow up with more information. But OpenAI, so the folks who do ChatGPT, released 2 days ago the ability to create videos from text.
Oh.
And it's called Sora, and it's specifically for the whole thing of creating realistic stuff. Now, I've seen some of the videos. I don't know if they're on this page. This is totally AI created, period. The realistic nature of it.
Wow.
Let's see if I can get to the next one. There's another one over here. This one with the woolly mammoths kicking up snow and running this one's AI generated. The prompt for create a movie trailer with a guy with a knitted space hat, thing. Right?
Yeah, like a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah. So but all of this is created by AI. I mean, the AI.
Wow.
This is a drone of waves crashing against the rugged cliffs. This is AI. This is not a video. This is not hey, we took a video and we edited it. That's not what it is. I mean, it is so.
Wow.
So what comes to my remembrance of this is I watch another guy, the Night's Watch. It's an author who does Shadiversity and some other stuff, but he has this thing and he talks about news and stuff. But one of the things he discussed was we are moving into a realm of creators developing stuff. You and I created a fan fiction story last week. Everybody, I'm going to post that on our Ko-fi page just as a reminder. I've got the PDF. I've got all 10 chapters done. I even have an AI image that I put on as the cover or for the cover. I even have an introduction. After it was all done, I had the AI create a book description for it as well without giving any details. I had to go back and I first created it, I had to go back and tell it, hey, don't give away plot points or who's who kind of a thing. And so it did. So it went and fixed it. It was great.
Nice.
That'll be up on Ko-fi today. Then but we're moving into a realm where guys like us like, hey, I don't like that Batman story, or I don't like that, or I want to do my own crossover. You can create stories on your own like we're doing and learning how to do storytelling. You can even have the models, the AI models, teach you how to do storytelling. Now there's all kinds of tools out there, and that's what's coming up next. But this right here, this creating video from text, I think is going to start replacing a lot of people who are going to create their own stuff. And we're taking creators to a different level on people just, hey, I want to create this story. Now, right now, this is only a minute at a time. Like you can create upwards of 1 minute of video. But this is only the beginning, and this is huge. We got OpenAI just over almost 18 months ago. Then during the process, we have voices that are now AI. Now we'll have video that's AI. And I'm just waiting for the moment where we're going to start having voices with lip syncing for AI. I mean, for videos. I mean, the sky's the limit. I'm cracking up because I sent my wife yesterday a clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger singing "Over the Rainbow," and it was him. Dorothy's face was Arnold Schwarzenegger's face, and they connected it and stuff.
That's scary.
It's hysterical, actually. Somewhere over the rainbow. Sage, awesome. Finally, we can remove and redo the Ray Skywalker films. It's a good day. Oh gosh!
I do wonder, is ChatGTP run by Skynet?
I don't know.
You're friends over at Three Geeky Dads nervous right now. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was kind of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we'll do. Everybody, that's coming up soon. We've been doing storytelling. Now we'll start playing with AI and making videos on the spot and seeing what happens. So, nice. All right, that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. All right, let's jump into the Geek Talk. What do we got here? March 20th, X-Men 97 comes out. Are you guys excited? Finally, it's back. The X-Men I grew up with.
I didn't know that.
I knew this was coming. All right, I'm going to say something controversial here. I never really got into the X-Men cartoon. But that was back in the 90s, and
Excelsior. I mean, I would watch the show. I mean, he did on the Spider-Man one too, but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That was back in the 90s, and that was my younger, wilder days. 97 would be Megan's youth, so I was busy with her as a baby, so yeah, I just didn't quite get into it. What?
Sorry, Megan, I caught that. I don't know if anybody else did or not. He said his wild days. He goes his wild days, and then and that was when Megan was born.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Geek.
Control the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
All right, I have one thing. What was that?
Okay. Nothing. Dun, 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 dun.
I have one thing for Geekdar, and this is more for my wife and less for me. We watched the movie The Iron Claw last night, which is the wrestling movie about the Von Erich family. It's actually a really good movie.
Is it?
I'm not. Yeah, actually, it was good. Brenda said there are some things, some details that were left out here and there, but you got 2 hours to tell a story of I don't know how many decades that was, and it's kind of hard to get all that stuff in. But
Oh, I gotcha.
I think they got all the primary stuff. All the brothers ended up dying except for the one, and they got each one of their stories in. I think they told them pretty well. Um, unfortunately, it paints the well. I don't know. Unfortunately, because I really don't know what he was like. Again, I'm not the biggest wrestler fan. My wife is a bigger wrestling fan than I am, especially of the older days of wrestling, like the Von Erich's reign.
Mm-hmm.
But she said they left out one whole son. Well, it's a
Now,
good thing
does
they
she
didn't put in just half the son.
Yeah.
Megan and I think alike. What did you say, Steve?
I was going to say, does she say wrestling or does she say wrestling? Is that what Brenda calls it? Is she a wrestling fan or wrestling fan?
I don't pay attention to that. I don't know if she says wrestling or wrestling. I know she says warsh, and it drives me insane.
I know. That's what, right?
It's not warsh, it's wash.
Hey, my beautiful bride is on.
Hey.
She says hello from Carthage,
Kelly.
Missouri.
All right, so that's my Geekdar.
Brenda says wrestling.
Okay, she says wrestling, not wrestling. I'm kind of surprised she doesn't say wrestling because she says warsh.
Yeah.
Music.
My son Troy is trying to call.
Oh. I was like, what's that music I hear? Hey, watch it. YouTube might ding us for that.
I know, right? He's like, wah, wah, copyright infringement.
Yeah, copyright. Stop it.
I'm sorry, but we've taken out 20 seconds of your video in 40 countries.
Right.
That has happened, everybody. That has happened to us.
And I still can't figure out what in the heck they removed.
That's because we mentioned Dwayne The Rock Johnson, remember?
Oh, that's right. We were talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah, I guess.
Do it again.
Yeah, now we're gonna do it.
Right.
Oh yeah, wait till football starts up.
Right.
Anyway, you said you had a Geek Star too.
I did. Real quick, everybody. I'm gonna share my screen again. I watched while on vacation. I watched the movie The Beekeeper. Let's see if this works. So I really enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It's Jason Statham fighting and hitting people. It's the good guy going in and beating up the people. And so it's a fun movie. I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but it's your typical 80s style action film.
Yeah.
And all. And so it was good. It's got a neat premise. Jeremy Irons is in it, who plays a really great role, who's really good. And then there are some parts of it that are a little comic booky. That some of the bad guys that he has to go up against are more cartoonish, kind of a thing. But I mean, that was okay. But anyway, so it was a good movie. So if you get a chance to see it, is it worth seeing in the theater? Ooh, I rented it for $20 because it's not really out yet. Because I was like, I'm going to the movie theater or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if it was worth the $20 or not, but I did enjoy it, and I had a good time seeing bad guys get beat up. So anyway, that is
He's a good action hero. So
I saw Josh Hutcherson.
Yes, he is in it. He plays one of the bad guys. And so it had some good twists and turns in it. And so it was worth seeing. But it's definitely worth a rental.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Let's jump into the main event, shall we?
We shall. It's time for the main event. Wow, 35 minutes in.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
No. We had a lot to talk about, everybody. So we're finally here to talk about Reacher. So I guess I had watched the first season and the second season, and I had talked about it with Mike, and then I told him that I thought the second season's better than the first season, and so you hadn't seen the first season at
No,
that
I
point,
haven't.
right?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah.
And I've now watched both season 1 and season 2. I don't know. I have a hard time saying one's better than the other. I enjoyed both of these. These are really good.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I wanted to give just a little background on Reacher real quick.
Sure.
So, Jack Reacher is a book series. The book series is let's see. As of January 2022, the series includes 28 books and a short story collection. The book series chronicles the adventures of Jack Reacher, former major in the United States Military Police Corps, now drifter, roaming the United States, taking on odd jobs and investigating suspicious and frequently dangerous situations, some of which are of a personal nature. The Reacher series has maintained a schedule of one book per year, except for 2010 when it had 2 installments. The character has been portrayed by Tom Cruise in a 2012 film and a 2016 sequel, and then the current series on Amazon Prime is portrayed by Alan Richardson.
Richson.
Richardson. Yeah. And Alan Richardson played Hawk in the Titans series. I
Yes.
absolutely loved him as Hawk. He
He was great.
awesome.
Mhm.
And it sucked. Spoiler alert. It sucked when they killed his character off. And
Right.
boy, did they kill him off. They blew him up.
I
As
watched that.
Anakin, as little Anakin says in episode 1, they blow you up. And that just sucked, man. So
Well,
when
when
I
I
heard
was
he was playing Reacher, I was like, oh, he's a good choice.
I heard the biggest complaint about the Tom Cruise movies was Tom Cruise was not the physical presence of the character.
Yes.
Now he
that's
did
what-
good. I thought he acted it well and stuff, and I enjoyed it. But then when we were watching, we were watching that show that you're talking about where he played Hawk. Why can I not think of the name all of a sudden? Titans. You just said it. I'm like, gosh, I'm getting old. So
Okay.
when we were watching it and I heard that he was going to play Reacher, I was so excited because I've been watching, because you were like, we got to watch Titans and talk about it, and I really enjoyed him. I loved his character. I'm like, dude, he is big enough to be Reacher. He is intimidating enough to be Reacher. And sure enough, in season 1, he did not disappoint. And in season 2, I was afraid season 2, how second seasons kind of wane a little bit. I didn't think it waned at all. I think it kept
I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
I agree. First of all, I got to say, my wife would say that he's very easy on the eyes too, by the way. And second of all, so years ago, I had a carpool buddy at work. She's since retired, and she hasn't been doing well, and she's getting to go home from her trip to the hospital recently. So I'm very happy that she's going home. But she was a big fan of the Reacher book series, and I remember her talking about the movie when it came out, and as soon as she heard Tom Cruise was in it, she's like, I'm out. I don't want to see it. And I at that time, I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about these books. I don't know, and I don't know why you're, so down on Tom Cruise, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, he's not the right person for this role. She's like, he's not big enough.
Yeah.
He's a massive guy and everything. So she was never happy with it. Well, I had messaged her when I started watching it, and I was like, hey, in case you haven't watched Reacher, it's on Amazon Prime now. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I've already watched it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And she told me that her son watched it with her, and he said, "Okay, mom, now I get why you hate the Tom Cruise movies."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his size and demeanor is such a big part of the
Oh, sure.
storytelling. It's
Yeah.
not that it's almost a character in and of itself because it influences interactions and how they interact with people. I mean, I'll tell you what, my favorite line one of my favorite lines in season 2 was, "Man, those satellite photos don't do you justice."
There was another line about his size too. I should have looked that up before we went on. But yeah, there was another one that was made. There was a few made about his size and everything. And you're
Yeah.
right. You know, his size is a major factor in this show. Now, I didn't see the movies, so I can't say anything about the movies. But I don't know if they try that in the film, and
No.
I would hope not, because Tom Cruise.
No,
is
they
huge.
didn't. They didn't do anything about his size or anything
Did
in
he
the
do a lot of
movies.
running?
And he was running. Yeah, Tom Cruise runs in every movie, it seems. I don't know. I can't remember. And all. But it did show him as a great detective with intellect and no holds barred dealing with people kind of a thing. So they
Okay.
showed that part of it, but his size is part of the character, telling and stuff. So yeah.
So let me ask you this: would you? Okay, so we have the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes stories. Now, my
Mhm.
wife's a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. She
Uh-huh.
loves Sherlock Holmes. So I remember when that movie came out, we were excited because we liked Robert Downey Jr.
Mhm.
And that was before the big Marvel, big Marvel blow up. All the
Yeah,
Marvel.
he had started with Iron Man, but it wasn't
Right. It
where
wasn't.
Marvel is today.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
it hadn't exploded the way it is today and as famous as it is today.
Mhm.
But we were excited about it, and then we watched it, and she's just not really into the Robert Downey Jr. version of Sherlock Holmes. And when I watch it, I always think of it as, well, it's a good detective movie, but it's not Sherlock Holmes. And that's the way I'm hearing the Tom Cruise Reacher. Like, it's a good detective,
Good analogy. Yeah,
but it's
okay,
not
yeah.
Reacher.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, I mean, yes, because the Robert Downey Jr., um, I would say those Sherlock Holmes movies, that was by Guy Ritchie. So it's that Guy Ritchie flair of a film. And it's fine. But I agree with you, it's not the true depths of who that character is. You're the Sherlock series on BBC, that's the best Sherlock series with
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean Cumberbatch.
You mean Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange, yes.
Going back to Marvel, and
yeah.
we've had both Sherlocks in Marvel, and
That's
Megan.
funny. I didn't
That's the
think about
perfect
that.
opportunity.
Yeah. Here, I'll let Megan tell this. So she's gonna come on. There you go. So
Hi, Megan.
Tell your thing when Doctor Strange and Iron Man met. What did you say to me? This was great.
They missed the opportunity for one of them or somebody to
Mhm.
say, "No shit, Sherlock," and just have the
Yep.
two of them have a reaction to that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been great. You were absolutely right. Hey,
I
I
remember Megan
bet you
saying
with
that.
this new AI thing, we can create that scene.
I remember her saying, she turned to me and she's like, "Dad, they missed a perfect opportunity."
They missed a
And
perfect
she told me that.
opportunity.
And I was like, "Oh, that is so funny." I love it.
I will say this. So going back to Reacher season 2, talking about phrases
Thanks,
that
Megan.
they did take advantage of. Thanks, Megan.
Yep.
They did take advantage of was when so the villain of the film, everybody, the villain of the series is Robert Patrick.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
If you don't recognize Robert Patrick or the name, he was the guy who played Peacemaker's
this boy?
dad. Do what?
Have you seen this boy?
Right. And then he was the Terminator, the shape-shifting Terminator in Terminator 2. and all.
I would say that is his most iconic role right there.
Yes, until Peacemaker.
Yeah, I still don't think Peacemaker is
Really?
nowhere
Okay.
near as iconic as
I
T2.
could hear that argument. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I liked his role in Peacemaker too. I think he did a great job. And
Mhm.
boy, he made a villain that you wanted to hate. That's for sure. He's good at that. He is really freaking good at being
Mhm.
the guy you want to hate. I mean,
Yeah.
oh wow.
He was
But
great.
T2 was just phenomenal. Have you
Right.
seen this boy?
Right. So Terminator 2, there even if you we're kind of old farts, but Terminator 2 is the story with Sarah Connor and her son becomes a leader of the resistance, all that kind of stuff. And so Robert Patrick was in it. Well, one of the greatest fun little lines where they did take advantage of a moment was they were like, someone they're under the name Sarah Connor, and he's like, I don't care who Sarah Connor is. It's kind of a thing.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
It,
Nice
it was
callback to T2. Again, his most iconic role. That's why they
that's
did
good
it.
call. Yeah, that's probably why they did it. Yeah, I had a little fun moment and stuff. So that was
Nice.
just a fun detail and stuff like that. So this episode or this season of Reacher was really cool because it gave you the background story of his
unit.
his unit, the detective unit kind of
Yeah.
a thing, and who they were. And I hated the fact that, oh man, some of the people are getting killed, and but I mean that's what spurs him. You made a mistake. You crossed Jack Reacher.
Now
Kind of
I
a thing.
heard they jumped around in the books though. That this story is like, I don't know, like way later in the book series.
I
So
think I believe so. That is possible. Yeah, I'm not for sure because I mean there's so many books, kind of a
right,
thing. But
right. Well, like I
it,
said, there's as of
yeah,
2022, there was what 28 books. So
well, his son is taken over. They've been over the last several novels. They've been transitioning, and Lee Child's son is taking over. Here, I'll show you. Here's this. Oh yes, Brenda, how they became family. Yes.
yeah,
So just to show you guys, uh, this is Jack Reacher, or this is Lee Child. See if I can show it. Here we go, and share. That's Lee Child
okay.
and all. So the man behind Jack Reacher, there's all the different videos and stuff. This is his BBC trailer. So I had gotten a Black Friday deal on storytelling or all the BBC videos. So we've been watching Alan Moore's
Oh,
storytelling.
this is one of those. Okay.
And Lee Child is on there about how to write a thriller and stuff. So
Neat.
yeah. So anyway, so he's written quite a bit, and so he tells his story and how he writes those. So there's so many of them. I'm not for sure which one.
I just bought Brenda 2 of the novels for Valentine's Day, actually.
Aw, nice.
And a
Now
lot of
she, right. Well, the only reason she wants to read it is because Jack Reacher is sexy as heck.
well, she's an avid reader too, so
Nice.
she likes to read.
Well, I would love to hear some of her reviews on the Jack Reacher novels.
I think she just started the first one. I think.
Cool. That's The Killing Floor. That was season 1, I believe.
Yes. That's based on the first novel, and then I don't know what the second book I got her because I couldn't get the second novel in the series because Barnes and Noble didn't have it when I went to buy it. So I just picked another one that sounded good and I got it. So
right on. Right. So Lee Child he did a cameo at the end, the last episode of season 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in the he was in the diner.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have known that because I didn't know what he looked like, and I had no idea that.
I don't think he was in the. I don't think there was a cameo in season 2 and stuff. So, but Yeah. So, all right. So it's really how they become family. I love the flashbacks of, here's this story of they're losing their friends, members of their unit, and then they were trying to understand why. Were they being hunted? And it all delved around, some of the jobs they were doing. It was great. You were wondering if one of their friends was dirty or not, but you realize no, oh, spoiler. Sorry. But anyway, so wah wah, kind of. It's so if
I
where we get,
like in the opening when they have the one guy in the chopper. Get to the chopper.
I knew it was coming.
I had to say it. When they have him in the chopper and they're getting ready to throw him out, and he looks at what's his face? The one we were just talking about.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, he looks at Robert Patrick and he goes, "I wonder what the big guy's going to do to you."
Right.
And Robert Patrick has no idea what he's talking about. He's like,
right.
What does he mean? Who's he talking about? Who's the big guy?
Yeah.
Which was another reference to his size.
His size, which is such an instrumental part of how they do the storytelling. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that right at the beginning. What do we want to use for
do to you?
Yeah. How do we want to? What are we going to use for our scale for this? Our ratings for this one?
Oh shoot! I wasn't even thinking about it. Oh shoot! What would be a good one? Well, let's just use choppers.
Choppers? How many choppers?
Choppers.
How many choppers?
Okay. Well, first off, I never read the book series, so I had nothing.
I've never read them either. Yes.
I had nothing to compare them to. I've heard lots of great things about the book series, though. Everyone that I've talked to who's read the book series loves it. They think it's fantastic. And then from what I've heard from those people, this television series on Amazon Prime really does it good. They do a good job of representing Jack Reacher and who he is and his size and just, his all in all badassness that he is. And I enjoyed the series very much. Apparently it's much more better than the movies. Cheers.
Yeah, right on. Mm-hmm.
It's like we're running out of time. I got to get it in somewhere.
I love it.
So with that said, I will give it 10 choppers. 10 choppers out of 10.
10 choppers out of 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
I loved it.
We really should make a list of all of our scales and stuff because you don't give 10s that often.
No, I don't. 10s are rare. And this one I would have to give a 10, not just because he's good looking. No, he's a great action star. I love him.
Yeah.
I think I'd watch just about anything with him in it. Honestly, he's that good.
Yeah, agreed.
He reminds me of the Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Sylvester Stallone of the 80s. My two favorite action heroes of the 80s.
Yeah,
he reminds me so much of them.
He reminds me kind of like Sylvester Stallone, actually.
Only smarter.
I really enjoyed his intro. My first introduction to him was Titans, and I loved him.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was great. I just the edgy kind of character who's in love with another person, another superhero, and that dynamic. I mean, it wasn't just a dumb big guy, Hulk smash kind of a thing. It was really good. I mean, and so then I was excited for him in Reacher, love him in Reacher. He's in another movie that's out, I think right now, that's based on a true story about getting his daughter through a snowstorm so she could have a life-giving operation, like a transplant or something. And he has to get her.
I'll have to look that up.
It looks real emotional kind of thing. I think something about angels is in the title. And then there's another true story, having fun with the true story. Was it oh my goodness, but it's with Henry Cavill, leading a team of the first special ops mission that there ever was, and how they were so rambunctious and out of things. And Alan Richson is one of the members on there.
Oh, really?
On that team. So I mean, it's an incredible cast, and it looks really good. It looks really like just a fun action flick, poking fun. You know, they're this whole unit, the first Special Forces unit, and what they did to the Nazis, and how they didn't play by any rules, that they were all crazy, kind of a thing. So Richard, so he's up and coming. I think he's up and coming more. He was on the one podcast, the guys who did Smallville, that podcast recently. Inside of You podcast. The guy who played Lex Luthor, it's his podcast.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum.
Yeah, and it's good. It's an introduction and stuff. And he was on
Michael Rosenbaum, the best Lex Luthor, by the way.
I agree. He was the best Lex. He played it much more betterer than anybody else. There we go. Cheers. 10 out of 10, huh? Would I give it 10 out of 10? I was afraid to give it 10 out of 10 just because I liked it that much.
I didn't hesitate, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I really like it. Don't get me wrong. I've watched it twice. The first season, I watched like 5 times. I watched it. Then I told Kelly she needed to watch it. Then we told her oldest son.
Dude, I haven't watched it 5 times, and I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Well, that was season 1. Season 2, I watched twice. I watched it, and then I watched it with Kelly.
Yeah, but you thought season 2 was much more better.
I did think it was much more better, so I could easily give it probably a 10 out of 10 as well. It's worth seeing. If you like thrillers and whodunits and what's going on, action, a big dude who evidently is sexy as heck according to Brenda. Just saying. But it's good. I'm not saying anything else about who's sexy or what's sexy on the show because I think my wife is on, so I'm not saying anything. Anyway, I heartily recommend it. Is it worth paying the Amazon subscription for? Yes. I say yes.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly agree. This is a great series. And yeah, if you're at all into Reacher, definitely watch this series. So I think that's all I got.
Any other favorite parts that you had in it?
It's hard to say because it's been almost a month since I watched it.
Right.
I was gonna try and rewatch it this week, and I just didn't get around to it.
It's just 8 hours. I can't get 8 hours done in a week. You know what I mean? And I thought of it even trying to rewatch the last episode because I really liked the last episode.
The whole thing is worth watching again. I just didn't quite have the time this week. That was my only issue. But and as far as season 1 or 2 being better, I enjoyed both seasons. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
They're both good. I loved learning about his team in this one. I loved the flashbacks, like you said. The flashbacks kind of reminded me of Thrawn Alliances, which is funny because Thrawn Alliances issue number 1 just got released in the Marvel comic books adaptation.
Nice.
But Thrawn Alliances has a story where you have Darth Vader and Thrawn being sent on a mission together, and then you start reading the story of how Thrawn actually met Anakin years earlier before he was part of before either of them were part of the Empire, and it like flashes back and forth between the two stories. So it's almost like getting technically it's almost like getting 3 stories because you also have a third story going on with Padme because they're Anakin's trying to rescue Padme. So you also have that going on. But you get these flashbacks, and it kind of reminds me of that, the way they did this with the flashbacks to his group, because you kind of see a whole secondary story going on with his military group than what's going on in the main story. So it just reminded me of that book, and I enjoy that book. I like the format of it. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to any future. Are they doing a season 3?
it's
Do
coming.
you know?
It's coming. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm excited. Okay.
I think this show is doing pretty well. So
Yeah. Amazon Prime's had some duds, stuff that people are excited about that hasn't gotten good reviews and stuff like that. But I think this is their one winner. One of their winners.
I think they hit it out of the park with this one.
Mhm.
So hopefully maybe they can come up with something good after this too. So we'll see. But right
Yeah.
now, this is probably
there's
their show
rumor
run.
has it there's a Batman. I'll believe it when I see it.
It's coming. It's coming. And believe me, when it does, we're gonna review it.
Right on.
Because it's been a long time coming.
Yep.
I think we discussed that on the news, like our first or second episode.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brenda said, I agree. It is so good. The story kept me interested for sure. I'm curious how Brenda, as you read the novels, especially if you're reading The Killing Floor, how close it is to the show is to the book, because I've heard rumor that it's pretty close, but I haven't read the first book. So I don't know. Because you got 8 hours. I mean, they're able to tell the story as the author intended. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and I think he's involved with the TV series too.
He is.
He's involved with the
He is.
production
He's a consultant on it. Yep.
which is great. You know, if you can get the author in on
Right.
it and getting his approval on stuff,
Yeah.
that just makes it better. So
Yeah. It makes it
much more better.
better.
Getting close.
You're right. All right, everybody. Well, any last thoughts, ideas, concepts, stuff, geeky info?
Just go watch it. That's all I got to say.
Just go watch it. That's all I got to say about that. Just go watch it. Hey, everybody, I want to direct you to our website, 2geeksmike.com, the number 2 geeksmike.com. But more specifically, if you want to support us or some of the other stuff that we have going on, go to kofi.com/2, the number 2 geeks. That's our site. This weekend, I'm going to post up, I should get it done today, the PDF of the book that we wrote last week, The What If Qui-Gon Jinn Survived. And it actually was a lot of fun. We kind of outlined it and on the show. And then afterwards, I spent some time. And it only took me to write a novella, really, 10-chapter novella. It took me grand total of being on the show and everything 3 hours. That's it. With using AI. And making little edits here and there, and then putting it into just a Word document and putting it as a PDF.
Is that including our time on the show?
That includes our time on the show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, which is really cool. So, I mean, if you really want to learn storytelling and learn to tell your own stories, AI is a tool. It can be an editing tool. It can be an idea tool. And that's really what it's all about. People talk about, well, it's cheating. I don't agree with that. I think everyone has editors that help them write better. You're just using a program to do it. Or people talk with others about how to help them get through writer's block. You're doing the same thing. You want to learn how to do story structure. AI will teach you, just like if you bought a book about it, kind of a thing.
You say that, and then all of a sudden, somebody runs up to you with a photo and says, "Have you seen this boy?"
Run away! I got that Skynet
Just
reference.
saying, man. That's where those movies started.
Right?
It all started with AI. So
that's funny. Yeah. So I'm going to post that on there. That's free for everybody. Now, the other project that I'm working on and I don't have it. I've just started it. I've have to unfortunately had to do some other tweaks, so it delayed me. But I'm putting that book in audio format, all AI read, and it sounds really good. The thing is that's going to be for those who are our monthly subscribers. So we're going to put that out there for them, and so it's going to be a MP3 like you can download and enjoy as well. So that's coming, and I'm pretty excited about that. All right,
Now, were you able to get Liam Neeson to voice that for us?
right? That'd be great if I could. I don't know if I have a good Liam Neeson voice to do it with, but I got one close. It's close, but not quite.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, you'll have to do that then.
it'd be kind of fun though. All right. So, hey, other things, everybody, is if you want to reach out to us, the best way to do that is show@twogeeksmike.com. That is our that's the best way to get a hold of us if you want to ask questions or submit ideas for us that you would like for us to talk about. The other thing is when you go to twogeeksmike.com, we've got some fun merch that's there, or you can also go to twogeeksmikemerch.com. That'll take you directly to our store page. There's different things going on. There's different shirts you can get. There's been things they've run out of, but now they've restocked and those kinds of things. So
I get notifications all the time.
I get notifications all the time too. It's kind of fun. So, but anyway, that is the dealio. So, anything else, Mr. Mike?
Just this. So if you made it this far, please make sure and go and like and subscribe. Go like us on Facebook. I try to put up a lot of fun memes over there. I also give any information for upcoming shows that we might be doing. So you can get that info there, and make sure and give the bell a tickle over on YouTube side, and like the video on YouTube, please, because when you like the video, it helps the algorithm, and YouTube enjoys that algorithm. And you will be notified every time we go live. And speaking of live, we go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math, because I don't like math. And I think that's all I've got. Oh man, I don't have a reacher line. Dang. I don't know. There was no like really.
Oh, the best line. One of the best lines in there,
yeah,
was man, you hit hard. I know no other way, or something to that effect.
All right. Well, with that said, I don't know any other way. And have you seen this boy? Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
May the force be with you.